Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a rack which looks close to a bingo. I'm wondering about unhealed. U-N-H-E-L-E-D. I don't think I'm sufficiently confident to try that. So how to leave a decent rack leave. I certainly want to play off the U. The H isn't particularly bingo-y. The L and the N lack synergy. But maybe unhealed is good. I think I might try it. And this is partly because I can't see a good alternative. And I may be able to score more with my H if this comes off. Well, I'm just waiting for this to be challenged. I don't feel particularly confident about it. Wow, it's good. Fantastic. Well, it's a strange word because I'm pretty confident unheals isn't good with an S, but maybe it is. Now, that's a good start for me. Always nice to see your opponent on negative points. Now, he's come back with 30. I've got the J for score. Where can that play? I'm wondering if I can play off the P with the J. Well, I can. I can play projet or projet through the O, and that might be best because I can't really see anywhere great for my J. Jeeper not good in the singular. And projet doesn't make the J available for my opponent to score off. And this really isn't going terribly much away at all. I don't think column 1 is especially dangerous, although an M could go in front of the P. And I'm turning over tiles when there was no particularly great rack leave. I don't think Wibbler is good, although it might be, and I think Wibble is good. Wibble would play above the E, the second E of unhealed. But I have some doubt about it. Now, through an O, I would have Wobblier, which I've just blocked with Projet. I can't see a way of playing in column 1. I'm not sure about Wabblier through an A, although there is no A at the moment. Nothing provided by my opponent. So, do I play Wibble, which places the E above this double letter square? Well, I think I will. It gets rid of all 3 of my problem tiles, the W and the 2 Bs. I'm just wondering about playing down through this E and keeping a better rack lead, but I can't see anything great. This may come off. I don't feel great about it. There's going to be a lot of very similar words. Well, if it stays on, I've got a great rack. I'm just waiting for this to be challenged. Maybe my opponent will be reticent about challenging, having lost his unhealed challenge. It's difficult to focus on your rack when you're waiting for a challenge. Anyway, let me turn to my rack. So, Crossley is good. Great. Wibble not challenged. No idea if it's good or not. So, is there anywhere for Crossley? I don't think so. There is almost certainly a bingo here. There are lots of floaters on this board. I've got the blank. Now, Rocklays, I think, is good, although it doesn't get doubled. I've got the ly ending. The Y usually goes at the beginning or end of words. I can't see anything beginning with an E. Or ending with an E. It's going to be pretty hard looking for 9-letter words with a blank. So, I've got rock lays, which I have doubt about. Column 1 is not a bingo lane. The H is a floater. The E is. I think I'll go through the alphabet and see if any plays come to mind, although I note there are not many 7-letter lanes. So, well, already that looks promising. I've got 15 minutes on my clock, 55 tiles left. Again, that looks like there's something there. Creosil, perhaps. Just not sure. I've got the claw prefix here. Can't see anything. That's my rock lays through an A. Still not seen anything. And I'm confident there are a ton of plays here. This is Crossley. Definitely nowhere for that. Right, let me just answer the door. I'm back. 14 minutes on my clock. I haven't seen anything. Zircaloys through the right floaters. Right, let me reconvene. I'm going to try rock lays. I think it's good. I don't want to spend any longer on this rack. It's difficult to... Well, I'm clearly having difficulty finding the bingos with it. Rock lays 68. Horrible rack. Won't be a disaster if this comes off. But probably not bad enough to change. Ureo is good. Great. My opponent challenges. He loses 5 points, so I've now got a 100-point lead. I suspect that really wasn't the best bingo available. And I've stuck an S out for my opponent to bingo if he's got a bingo ending in S. I do have a scoring tile in the C, but my priority is getting rid of the junk, which is the duplicate vowels and the U's. So it's really not a problem if the C stays on my rack or if I score lowly. My priority is sorting the rack out. Ureo leaves ACU, which isn't great. But a play of Ureo, nice score for my opponent. A play of Ureo is better than changing. So I've got that in column 13, making OR. Could also play it across here to stop my opponent getting a high-scoring bingo. Ah, have I got Raucous? That will score more. And dump both U's. Ooh, the C gets doubled. Fantastic. Yeah, the score's rubbish, but it totally sorts the rack out and kills a good lane for my opponent. Still not good, but I do on this occasion have scoring tiles. I have foam alongside rock lays, which will be pretty good. Also got the same play in row N, making Mar. 12 minutes on my clock. I don't think there are any 7s or 8s with this rack. Certainly none I've seen. R only takes an E after it, so column 15 only available with an E, and that could be available for a high score if a high scoring tile gets doubled. I've got a 100-point lead, but my opponent's on turn. The board is quite open. Certainly row N is a good bingo lane. And still one blank to come. I would have Dogmata beginning with a D. So let me think about the scores. Foam in column 13. 33. 27 in row N, so I would... That was the danger. 61 for my opponent. He's only 30 points behind. Now, I'm looking in row O to see if I've got a play placing one of my high-scoring tiles underneath this I, and that would be the F. So, I don't. I thought for a moment I had Goaf, SA, not good. So it would have to end OF. And I haven't got that, so I think I will leave that alone and sort my rack out with foam down here. 33 points, a pretty decent score. I draw the Q and the Z. I've got Zante in column 15. No U's to come, but 5 I's. And there are the eyes of Sittine. Well, one of those has just gone. Zante I quite like. It burns a lot of tiles, increasing my chances of drawing the blank. 47 points, pretty good. Am I missing something amazing? Now, I note my Q could go here, so I could play Quag, which would sort the rack out. 32 points. Retaining the Z for score. I'm 42 points, or 40-something points ahead. 46 points. 11 minutes on my clock, 24 tiles left. I really don't like the Q, but it's a matter of making the right decision. Do I play Zante? It would be nice to get this Z doubled. But I quite like the idea of getting rid of the Q and the G. $32 points. Since all the U's have gone, I need to identify where they are. Okay, no other U is helpful for me. This is quite a good rack lead. There's a ton of vowels to come, any of which will help this rack. I may regret this because I have the Q spot, but there's also the Q spot here, and if I draw an I, I'd have Chi and Chi. So Zante would score 15 more points. Well, the Q's worth about -11, so I think I am going to play Quag. Maybe I shall regret that because the Chi spot was pretty handy. Anyway, I made that decision. And what I haven't got is anywhere great for my Z. Maybe I should have thought that through a bit more. Now, I have Ezine. Great, I do have a Z play down here. One of the new words that's come in, a decent rack leave. So I think I've got out of jail there a bit. I didn't see Ezine to start with. And I'm rewarded with the second blank and a pretty good rack. So, do I have a bingo with it? I've got the floaters in Ada. Ada takes nothing in front. None of these floaters are particularly helpful. The D would have to overlap TE. So I haven't got anything there. Now the B is a floater. 9 minutes on my clock. 12 tiles left. Do I have anything through the B? Nice score for my opponent. And he takes out the V floater. Now, there's also a lane in row D which doesn't end on the D if it begins above ER. None of my tiles go in front of ER, so that would have to be the blank in that spot. Now, what about the G? Can't see anything there. 8 minutes on my clock. Nothing goes in front of G. Nothing goes in front of VoIP. FAOY, not helpful. L, not available. It's just this B. ID, possible. Do I have dinitride? I do. Is it good? I don't know. I think I will skip through the alphabet. And I think maybe the A is my best spot. Now I note that my D could sneak in here between the A and the Z. But I'd like to play off an I as well. Now I've got bird. I'm looking back on this B. I've got bird as a component part, which goes with tin blank. So I've got bird and birds. I'm 80 points ahead. Can't see anything. Remaining tiles quite bingo. I'm wondering if I should just play off DI and hope that I've got a better rack to consider next go. Otherwise I can burn the clock down and not have enough time. But maybe I should quickly look for something ending in A. Not seeing anything yet. Close to Intifada. Nothing. Distrain. Okay, so let me play off DI somewhere. Well, I could play drip. It burns the R. Well, let me just pause a bit. Let me check the score because the R is quite helpful. 23 points. Do I keep that R? Six minutes on my clock. I'm going to play it. It scores more than alternatives I can see, and it's taking out a place where my opponent can score, and it's providing nothing. And that is pretty good. Retain plus a blank. I've got anti-Sera in row B. I've almost certainly got something down here. Ending IDE or IDS. 7 minutes on my clock. Do I have an alternative to anti-Sera? What about a play ending in D? So what goes in front of T? A does. U does. That might be it. So, okay, remaining tiles not particularly bingo-y. I've got anti-Sera. It doesn't score very much. A play in row D would score a lot more. Ah, well, there's a lane here, isn't there, underneath healed. And I've got an excellent rack. I haven't seen anything yet, but if I do have a play, the E would go there. This is hard to consider with so many possibilities with this rack. But if there is a play here, it's a lot safer than anti-Sera. So what would be the most likely starting tile? Let me put this back. It could also pluralize Ed, so I could have an S in last place. So it could start under here, so I thought I had an S tree, but that doesn't end in S. I thought I had Retsina, and I don't because LE is not good. There probably is something across here, but I'm 50 or 60 points ahead, so I think anti-Sera will put me ahead. I just think it's just going to be a lot inferior. Actually, I can play through this G. Anti-Sera opens up row A. Playing through the G doesn't, so I can simply play Gratin A. Now I'm just wondering about... Well, that is definitely good. I'm just wondering about whether it's good with an S. But I'm going to go with the play I'm sure of. Wow. Horrendous. But there is a Y. So I've got my and me. I can't go out in one with this rack. My opponent's got a dreadful rack. This lone P has not been used all game, even though I now have an M for going there. 3 minutes on my clock. I'm over 100 points ahead. My opponent's got, well, just 5 one-pointers. So what can I do? My doesn't play here. Yash isn't good. The spot I had in mind has been taken by my opponent. My S could pluralize Citine, but I can't see a way of actually doing that. FE takes nothing in front. 2 minutes on my clock. Nothing goes in front of D. Nim is good. My and Fem is good. My and Ma. Still 2 minutes on the clock. MM is good. So I could play Mike. Let me see what this scores. 16 points. Yeah, I think I will go with that. Now, what about playing through this A? What about playing Vasti? That's looking a whole lot better. 31 points, and if my opponent doesn't go out next go, I certainly will be able to. I've got Moy and I've got Ma up here. Yeah, that's a much better play. Now, I've got nearly 2 minutes, so I can look for the best spot for my M. My opponent may go out, but that's his business. 4 for Ma and Mai. Mob. 7. Wem. 11. That's looking better. Mash. 18. Fantastic. And that's it. So it's Mash or Wem. Either of which secures victory. Oh well, Gratiné worked out quite well in the end, given that it takes an S. but that doesn't make it the best play. 12 minutes on my opponent's clock. Well, having identified the best place for my M, I guess I can look at his rack and see if I can find an out for him. So he's got 5 tiles. I can't see anything through this P. I can't see any 5-letter plays available for him. Nothing goes in front of XI. He can't play all his tiles in column 8. He would have Nayant. Okay, he's taken my best spot. I'm just wondering if Nash is good. I think it is. So, Wem to end the game. Just wait for my opponent to formally end it. He does. And the final score, 313 to my opponent, 466 to me, a winning margin of 153 points. So a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Oh, look at that. Invalid words played Nash. I could have challenged that off and played Mash. Oh well, so that's a 20-point equity loss right at the death. Now, it was me to go first. Unhealed was good. And this was my opponent's rack. He played Glowing. I played Projet for 30. Gel available at D1. Okay, well, yes, I think that probably is a better play. EPRT, I think, is a better rack leave than EL, and certainly it scores more, and the J isn't particularly dangerous in 4th place. My opponent's rack, he plays War. And now I play Wibble. And, well, clearly Wibbler, not good, otherwise it would appear. So Wibble is fine. My opponent plays Duke. Now, I played Rocklays, E14, and that was the highest scoring bingo. I'm surprised. I thought there was going to be a variety of other bingos. There certainly are a whole bunch of other bingos. They just don't score as much as Rocklays. And they're all through this E of Duke, or through the K with Rocklays. Yeah, everything else is running through that E, but not getting tripled. My opponent's rack, he plays Hens. Now, I play Raucous for 12, and look at the rack leaves of the higher scoring plays there. They are awful, so I still like Raucous, and it takes out a dangerous lane. And if I hadn't played Raucous, my opponent was sitting with Sitines. Those were the bingos he was looking at. He played one of them. My rack, I play Foam, J13 for 33. I could have got 3 more points with Faggot, M9. Okay, making Faggot across here, quite nice. Probably a better play. My opponent plays VoIP, and now I was in a really tricky spot. Do I play Quag for 32 or Zanti? And I think Quag is the play. Q and G, not good. This rack leave is pretty robust. Even if I didn't have a 5-letter play, it's a nice rack leave. QG, really not a nice rack leave at all. Horrible rack for my opponent. So nice play by him there. And now I have Ezine for 48. And if I hadn't have spotted that, A13. Wow, look at that. Ada takes a Z in front. Wow, I should have known that. And I do know it, but I didn't spot it. So Z was available across the top. But Ezine a better play because, although it scores 3 fewer points, it doesn't keep duplicate I. My opponent plays X. Now this is where I was, well, I thought I was short on time. I had 9 minutes, but I guess I burnt through a lot of that looking for a bingo and not finding one. And there was only one through the G, Digitron. So well done if you spotted that. I didn't, and I think that would have been a difficult one to spot. So I could easily have spent time and not found it. What did I do? I played Drip for 23, And I think that's fine, because if you think about it, the blank's worth about 25, 25 and 23, 48, not far off Digitron. And this Ratcliffe blank INT is a lot better than just the blank, so there's probably very little between Digitron and Drip. My opponent plays Zoo. Now, what is here? In Earth. Okay. Because ED takes an H as well as an S. So I have In Earth across here. D6. Antherid ending on the D. Urinated in the same spot. Ouch, should have seen that. Arointed in the same spot. Now, Iridenta. Where's that? D8. Okay, that's through ID. And a bunch of others. All of which scored more than my Gratinate for 60. But Gratinate did have some merit and probably wasn't the worst possible bingo. My opponent plays Far. And now I have Vasti for 31, which I think is certainly the best move. And now, could my opponent have gone out? He couldn't. He played Nar. I should have challenged it off. I didn't. And Mob E10. Mob and Mai for 14. Instead, I played Wem for 11. So, okay, a suboptimal play at the end, but it didn't really matter. I won by a large margin. So pretty exciting game, lots of bingos. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.